Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and I'm checking out a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica in the Touring L trim level. Now this one has the S appearance package, which makes it look completely different from the other models in the Pacifica lineup. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Pacifica is sitting on 235/60 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a black finish. They call it black noise wheels. Now they look more on the gray side, like a dark gray to my eyes. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors in the front and solid disc rotors in the back. The name of this color is Brilliant Black Crystal Pearl Coat. And the sun's out right now, so we can check it out. Hopefully you can see it in the video here with little sparkles and metal flakes in the paint. Looks fantastic, especially with those wheels and just overall blending in, looking nice. Okay, so here in the front, you can see, just like the rest of the vehicle, the grille is all blacked out. Even has the blacked out, actually matches the wheels, it looks like. Chrysler badge there in the center portion. And right in here, so the badge kind of looks like a gray badge, like a dark gray, but then right in here is a little strip of that as well, kind of matching it. Even the headlight bezels have a black, textured black finish to them right there. And this area for your high beams are reflector, a lot of chrome to help flood the light out, I suppose. But here on the projector side, it has that black bezel. Now the headlights are powered by halogen bulbs for your low and your high beams. And like I mentioned, you have a projector for your low beams and a reflector for your high beams. You also have an LED daytime running light underscoring the headlights. And the fog lights are in a projector housing powered by halogen bulbs as well. So looking at the profile of the vehicle, you can see body colored handles, side mirrors, roof rails, wheels, everything. It's just one solid color, and that's part of the whole idea with the S appearance package to kind of give you that solid blacked out look. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed where you can keep it in your pocket or a bag and use it 100%, use the vehicle 100% without taking the key out. And has a chrome on the ends, really solid feeling, high quality key. And has a physical key on the inside in case you need it. But it also has some really useful buttons: lock and unlock, remote start, the ability to open up the power liftgate, and of course your doors, your power doors here, and a panic button at the bottom. Let's go ahead and push the panic button. All right, so it flashes the lights and beeps the horn. And so opening up the doors here, it has so basically this orientation here, so you can see that's your right, that's your left, or depending on how you're facing the vehicle. Let's go ahead and open up the side door here on my side, so you can see it's on this side here. So that way you can pile in, you can start the car up, you can unlock the doors, you can open up the doors, you can even open up the power liftgate and everything, and everybody can get in and get their seatbelts on and everything while you're approaching the vehicle. Let's say you're leaving a store or something. Kids always run faster. They're going to go ahead and get everything going. Let's go ahead and open up the power liftgate just so you can see how accessible this vehicle is. And then of course both sides open up so you can really access it from all directions. So if you don't want to take the key out of your pocket, as long as it's with you, you can walk up to the vehicle and push this button to lock it. You can do it on the back doors as well. You see the button here. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. It senses the key within a close proximity of the outside of the door, and it will allow you access the vehicle by unlocking. Now in the settings, you can have it unlock this door or all the doors, however you want to do it. Okay, so looking on the inside of the passenger side door, It has the contrast stitching. You notice everything's black except for around the handle there, but you do have the white contrast stitching in a French design right in here. And pretty much everything from here up is all soft to the touch. So you have this like synthetic Nerf material that's soft, and then you have the like a vinyl soft cushion armrest. You have a pocket here, 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 and as well at the bottom, and a water bottle holder here. So all the plastic at the bottom is that durable hard plastic, and then the top portion where your arm will touch typically will be soft touch surfaces. So here the threshold, it has this wide plastic piece protecting the carpet and also the vehicle, a place to put an umbrella. It even has a little cloud there with the raindrops falling down on a little umbrella, just to show you, let you know what that little place is for typically. And then you have a power seat here for the passenger. Now it has, in addition to the four-way lumbar adjustment, you also have the ability to raise, lower, tilt the seat, as well as move it forward and back. So a lot of passenger seats only have the forward and back adjustment. This one has the up and down and tilt. Here in the front, it has a heated perforated leather seat with the contrast stitching matching the door. You have the perforations here on the center portion, smooth leather here on the ends, and you have the contrast stitching leading you up to the S embroidered in the back of the seat. And check out the legroom. I mean, it is fantastic in this vehicle, front, back, everywhere. Which I'll leave all the measurements and everything, the specs in the description so you can check it out. But you can see that the floor mat snaps in place. You have a center console there, place to put some stuff in the floor. Also under this portion is a pass-through that goes all the way back to the rear passengers, which is interesting. The dash is a hard plastic that is non-reflective. Glove compartment is locking, and you see it's kind of standard as far as the size, but it does have a smooth interior, so it's easy to clean. There's a handle here on the passenger side and in the back to get in and out of the doors a little bit easier. Might come in handy in case you want to put a lift kit on it or something. That's supposed to be a joke. And check out that privacy glass. It really does a good job of keeping people from looking in, but it also has shades. So I have the rear shade up. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this one is down, and even with the shade down, it does a good job. So let's take a look here. So we can just pull that and it'll go back for us if we don't want to use the key. And there's your handle, there's the plastic threshold, and it has bucket seats here in the back, in the second row anyway, with the leather seating surfaces, the armrests, and the contrast stitching. It also has the net pockets on the back of the seats with bag holders on either side. A USB charger here, easy to get to, on the back of both seats. I think that's fantastic. Now these seats fold down into the floor. But before I show you that, there's actually, I'm going to show you the storage capability here. So let's go ahead and push this button. So there's a button down here, and there's a button up here. This is to open and close the door. This one is to move the seat forward. So push that button, the front seat moves forward. Now that that's out of the way, we can leave the floor mat in place. We can lift this up like so and push it forward. And it kind of stays in place there. And this is basically a storage compartment. Now you can put whatever you want in here, or you can put the seat in there. So if you want some extra storage space while using the seat in its upright position, It's just an extra really good place to put stuff because it's completely out of the way. It's underneath the floor. So if you want to put the seat in the storage compartment, it's really easy. So you lift this up, kind of flops down like so. It also folded the headrests, kind of automatically does that. So now it's ready to stow, and then you have this stow and go handle. You just pull that and it goes into this position. It kind of is assisted a little bit with a spring. So now that it's here, you will have to push down on it, and it doesn't take a lot of energy to push it down until you get to a certain point, and then this back part kind of pops up a little bit, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Because when we take this floor and we extend it out and lay it on top like so, this is where we do the final push. Now it's latched in place. It's secure, it's not going to rattle around. It's going to be pressed firmly against that top portion, and it just keeps it from rattling. It keeps it from moving around. It's all nicely compacted, I should say. So now you have this completely flat floor added, you know, if you want to add to the cargo space. Now you notice you also have other seats in place. So if you just wanted to fold this seat down and utilize these seats, you can do that. And you can put something here, or you can leave it open, or whatever you want to do it. And now that this is in place, we can do the same thing on the other side. We push this button again to move that seat back to its original position. So if you have that seat all adjusted, just the way you want it, pushing that button moves the seat forward and then puts it right back where it was. So you don't have to readjust the seat. That's a fantastic idea. Okay, so looking at the third row seats, it has the latch system for car seats, by the way, on all these seats here in the back. Has cup holders, USB charger, storage spots. You have the headrests you're able to fold those down when there's no passengers. But look at the legroom. I mean, the seats are not too far close to the floor, so you have a decent amount of legroom, especially it's kind of tilted back to give you that comfortable position. You have a storage space there. You see the nets, shades, I should say, that poke out from the side of the vehicle, so that way they kind of slide out, so that way they're completely out of the way when you're not using them, basically. Okay, so sitting in the back seat, it is very comfortable for a back seat of a minivan. And I'm 6 feet tall, just kind of give you an idea. I do have the seat forward still. This is the position of the seat normally, in the most rearward position anyway, so you can see the difference there. But you have those bag holders, the net pocket, the USB port. Then there's your handle, the button to open and close the door, and then of course the other button here to move the seat forward and back. So let's go ahead and close the door. It slowly closes. We have the shade that extends up and hooks in place. We have a power window back here. It goes down to that point. That's as far down as it goes. Then there's your door lock control. There's a bottle holder at the bottom, but generally it's open. It's wide open, smooth plastics here, and plenty of room. So you can see the distance between the seat and the door, so you don't feel cramped. You also have a climate control up here, so you can adjust your temperature, which I'm going to turn down. And your fan speed, you can turn on automatic, and mode is where you want the air to blow, whether you want it more from the higher position or lower position. You have these little tap lights, handle, and there's actually a little hook here integrated with the handle. Alright, let's turn that off. Alright, you also have a DVD player, entertainment system, with the DVD that goes in here. You also have, and then there's your controls. You have lights on it as well. And there's your screen. You can adjust it the way you want. As far, it goes all the way back. You also have inputs on the very back here. And this is a good place to see the pass-through. Goes completely underneath that center console area. Now to open the door, you can push that button, or you can move this back. So that's actually a little handle there, and it'll open up the door as well. Okay, so taking a look at the back of the vehicle, there is a little shark fin antenna right here, and a third brake light just underneath that little spoiler there. Now the roof racks on top, the rails have integrated the cross members. So you can see those cross members there will be able to swing out and lock into position when you need them. But generally, they're in that position to have better aerodynamics, basically. You see the badge is blacked out. And then right here in the very center is the backup camera, and that's the best position for, in my opinion, for a backup camera, is the very center position. So you have the Pacifica blacked out, but the S is more prominent in chrome. And then you have the parking sensors across the back, and the exhaust is, for the most part, hidden. Okay, so opening it up, we can use the key. We can, of course, there's a button in the front to open it up, but if we want to just walk up, push this button under here, it'll open up for us. So we have a little light and speakers back here underneath the lift gate, which is nice. Okay, so if all the seats are occupied with passengers, this is your cargo space. You have a 12-volt power supply with a battery on it, letting you know that it's directly connected to the battery, so you don't have to have the vehicle on to use this power supply. And you can see how deep this compartment is back here. That's because these seats actually fold away. The stow and go seats fold away in this area. But when they're not stowed, you have this big area to put stuff. So it really has really good height. And also it has the bag holders on the back of the seats there. So you can hang grocery bags or whatever there, so they're not rolling around on you while you're driving. You have tie downs here. And your spare tire is deflated, and it's behind this cover here. And it has an inflator kit with the spare tire. Now you can get the optional vacuum, which will replace the spare tire here. So if it has the vacuum, you will not have the spare tire. You will have an inflator kit instead. Okay, so folding these seats down, you have it's pretty simple. So you pull this button, you pull this latch there. Now what it does is it folds the headrest when you do that. It also releases the front. Now we just pull this strap, kind of pull it, and it goes like so. So it's fairly simple once you know the technique. So now you can see we've added to the cargo space while still maintaining passenger space here. So if we just need to add some length here to put a long box, we can easily do that and still have some passenger space back here. Now we can fold this seat down instead of that seat, or we can fold down all the seats in the vehicle, whatever we need, depending on our needs. But folding them all down really gives us a massive cargo space in this vehicle. Okay, so if we want to lower the power lift gate, we can of course use the key, or we can simply push this button. The blind spot monitor indicator is here on the side mirrors. This will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot on either side, so it'll illuminate on the appropriate side. So it has one on each mirror, a little triangle, And it also serves for the rear cross traffic alert system. So as you're backing out of a parking space, it will let you know if there's a vehicle coming from either side. The sensor is located around in this area, and it will indicate whether there's a vehicle in the blind spot from your side mirror all the way back to 1 car length behind the vehicle at maximum. So if there's a vehicle coming in fast, you still have to look and look for those vehicles as well. Now the fuel door is here on the driver's side, which is convenient, and it's capless, so you don't have to worry about a cap getting your hands dirty or anything. And it does have a seal on the outside here, but it just makes things a lot easier. Okay, so let's go and start it up. The key, as long as it's inside the vehicle, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, or sitting in a cup holder, whatever. As long as it's inside the vehicle, we put our foot on the brake and hold it and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see, just like the passenger side, you have plenty of room here. There's your accelerator and brake pedal, and a footrest here on the left side. Really big footrest. Okay, so let's take a look under the hood. Opening up the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the right of center here. Let's reach in and move it to the left, and kind of left and up right there. It does require a prop to hold it up, and it's here on the left side, and it goes right there. Underneath the hood is insulated. You also have an insulated firewall, pretty much all of it, all the way up to the top there, and there is some heat shielding as well. Here's your battery. You have a positive post on that side to get to, and then there's the negative. And the battery is insulated. You can see the insulation there on the sides. Okay, so this one has the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6, and it's modestly covered in plastic, so you can actually see some engine here. There's the oil filter, which is easy to get to right there. And it pumps out 287 horsepower and is paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the passenger side, except for it has a few more buttons. So it has the door lock controls, power windows, and the side mirror adjustments. The front two are automatic, so we just one touch down, one touch up. Then your side mirrors, you just pick a side, left or right, and adjust with this little pad. Power seat here for the driver, just like the passenger side. And it has the umbrella holder. To the left of the steering column, there's your headlight controls. You have automatic, on, parking light, and off. Then your fog lights are controlled right here. Just push this button here in the center. Dimmer switch for your interior gauges. You also have a dimmer switch for your ambient lighting as well. And the steering column has the latch. Really easy to find the latch. It's on the left side. It's tilt and a telescoping steering column, and you lock it in place by lifting it up. Some vehicles have the latch for the column like in some weird spot. This one's really easy to find and use. Okay, so sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out, I had the seat adjusted. I'm 6 feet tall. I had the seat adjusted all the way back and a little bit tilted a little bit further back than what I'd normally drive, but plenty of legroom and knee room. I mean, it's just wide open space here. So I probably would have to put the seat a little bit more forward to actually drive comfortably, but I do have it all the way back to show you, but also to film. So it has a leather wrap steering wheel, soft touch, really good thickness. Even right up in here is a little bit thicker for a grip. And it has that, which is interesting, the actual leather is smooth, so it doesn't have any texture really. But the center portion is the synthetic material, and it does have that traditional leather texture. And it has that white contrast stitching in the center portion. There's some gloss black. Very subtle though, and then you have the gloss black around these buttons here for your cruise control. On the back of the steering wheel, it has your volume for your radio, center button, and so it has a toggle switch up and down basically. So the up and down is for your volume, and then the center button is to change through audio sources, so AM, FM, satellite radio, that kind of stuff. On the left side on the back, up and down is changed through your tracks. Depends on, like if you're in a radio station, it'll change through radio stations. So if you're listening to the radio, you can do that. But if you have a media source, so like say your phone or whatever, you can cycle through media files basically. And then the center button back here cycles through your presets on your radio only. Here on the front, you have your voice recognition, your Bluetooth controls for answering and hanging up, and these buttons here correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute in detail. There's your front and rear windshield wipers, and your turn signal, and your headlight dimmer switch there on the left side. Okay, so here's your gauges, and check it out, nice blue background, accenting everything. And the gauges are kind of dished out like a concave look, looking pretty nice. And they're easy to read, easy to see and focus on. So your RPMs are there on the left side, speedometers on the right, and then you have the screen in the center, which has your, on the left side is your engine coolant temperature, on the right side is your fuel gauge. So that's digitally represented. Little screen there in the center portion has the outside temperature, the direction the vehicle's facing. So this is the digital compass, as I was facing south right now. Has a digital speedometer there in the center and the odometer at the bottom. So using these buttons here, the arrows with the OK, we're going to cycle through. So right now it says speedometer. If I scroll down, it shows you this is part of a menu system. So scrolling down takes us to the vehicle info screen, which I can scroll right or left. So right now it's the tire pressure. Scrolling to the right, so you have more temperatures and pressures throughout the vehicle info screen here. Scrolling down again takes you to your fuel economy, so you have your range, your average fuel economy in a real time. We can reset that. Same thing with the trip. We have 2 trips. It shows your distance, your miles per gallon average, and the time it took to drive that distance. Scrolling down again, this is your stop start feature. This, unless you turn it off, this will kind of default be on, but certain parameters have to be met. And this is what your radio is doing. Stored messages will show up here, and this is where you can go into your settings and set up what you want in these corners. So upper left, upper right, center, you can have those customized. So if you want to have your range there instead of the outside temperature, you can do that. Scrolling down again goes back to your digital speedometer. Okay, so looking at the center stack here, you have the gloss black surrounding the touchscreen. And the touchscreen, in the recent years, the Uconnect system, really the clarity, the colors, just everything has just really made a huge improvement. It looks fantastic. The resolution is just really good. So you can see it has that background picture there, looking nice with the mountains. Now, you can see these icons across the bottom. These will stay there basically, so you can quickly access certain features. So right now we're in the radio screen. So you have AM, FM, satellite radio presets there at the top. You can tune directly to certain stations using the pad there. You can also adjust your audio with your balance of fade, equalizer, speed adjusted volume, and surround sound. So you can adjust all this like so, go forward and back. And you can always push the center button to put it back where it was. Media, you have Bluetooth, auxiliary input, and USB ports to play music through the sound system. So your climate control, you have your driver and passenger and your rear, so it's a tri-zone. So you have your different buttons here. You can control your rear climate by pushing that button. And then your heated seats controls right there for your high and low, basically a two-stage for your driver and passenger. Where you want the air to blow, like so, and the temperatures. You can sync them to where both driver and passenger are the same. And then there's your fan speed. Apps is your next button here at the bottom. Your heated seat, driver, passenger, projection manager. This is where you can go in and set up your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto once you plug in the phone to the USB port. And then you have just basically like your climate, your controls for your seats, settings, audio settings. You can take these icons and switch them to the ones down here. So right now you have controls here. But let's say we wanted to change that to projection manager. So let's go ahead and touch and hold that and bring it down here, release it. Now projection manager is there, and the original controls is gone, or it's up here now. So we can always put it back if we want to, like so. So it's kind of like a cell phone. You can customize the screen, these icons here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and go into the controls. We saw this screen before because there's a shortcut to it in the climate control. For your heated seats, you can go into your settings here and adjust all your vehicle settings. Like say if you don't want the car to beep when you do the remote start, or you know, flashing the lights, all that stuff, you can adjust that if you want. We don't right now see it says smartphone device mirroring, paired phones, paired audio sources. So it's basically, you know, what in addition to just the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you also have the ability to show the paired devices. You can pair up to, I think it's 6 devices, and it will work on a priority system. So if you get in the vehicle with another cell phone, whichever one is set to the priority of the other one will be active. And then the last one here is the phone, which we don't have one paired, but once you pair the phone, you have access to your recent calls, your favorites, your contacts, the keypad. You can also transfer it back to, once you're in a phone call, it'll pop up here. You can transfer it back to your cell phone just in case you want to have a private call. You can do that as well. You can also reply with text messages using your voice, which is really nice too. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the screen here. Really nice looking. Alright, so your climate controls down here. Now you also have a volume for your radio, tuned through your stations. Your stop start feature you can turn off here. Default will be on when you get in the vehicle, as long as certain parameters are met, like your seat belts, you know, hooked up and all that stuff. But this will, if you're not familiar with that feature, it basically turns off the engine while you're stopped at a stop sign and holding the brake or a stoplight for an extended period of time. As soon as you release the brake and push the accelerator, it starts the vehicle. So it's one of those features that it's trying to save fuel to meet government standards for fuel economy. So that's basically what it's for. I don't remember anybody, you know, calling for that particular feature, something that they want, but that's something that's added, and you can always turn it off here. Your parking sensors you can turn off here, and your traction control you can turn off. Default will be on. You can mute the radio. Your four-way flashes are here, and you can always turn the screen off if you want to. You just tap the screen to turn it back on. And there's your climate control. You have your redundancy buttons here for your temperatures, your fan speed, and all that. Front and rear defrosters. So that way you don't have to go into the screen all the time to adjust it. You can always have a quick access buttons right here. Okay, so here's your shifter, and so you notice all this is open, so you don't have any shifters down here getting in the way, and you don't have a column shifter getting in the way, so you just have a turn dial, and it's a basic electronic shift anyway. No matter how you do it nowadays, it's going to be electronically controlled, so they just make a simple dial here. You have an electronic parking brake, which you can engage by pushing it, and it gives you an indicator light. To disengage it, you just put your foot on the brake and push it again. It'll release. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse so we can check out the backup camera. Now, 2 things will happen. One, the backup camera will pop up here with the active guidelines. The second thing will be your parking sensors. If you have them turned on, you have an indicator there. It'll beep if you get close to something, but it'll also show you what direction the actual object is here in a visual reference. So that's pretty cool. So there's neutral, there's drive, and there's a low range. You push it in, turn it, and this gives you a engine braking if you're going downhill or whatever. Okay, so you have an auxiliary and USB inputs here. Also a place to put stuff. So you have these little shelves here. You can put your cell phone or whatever. And they have this removable rubber bottom. So you can see, you can clean it and put it back in. Snaps in place like so. Same thing with that one. And then this is really neat. Big tray. So you can put all your junk in there. It's kind of like the junk drawer of the vehicle. And then place to put some coins here on the ends. And this has the rubberized bottom as well. And pretty sure that's removable, so you can clean it and put it back in. Then you have a USB charge port and a 12-volt power supply, which has the key on it, so now we know that it will turn on and off with the ignition. Then you have the storage compartment here. And remember, it goes, this portion actually goes all the way, passes through underneath this compartment and through to the back. So, and it has a removable rubber liner in it as well. So if I lift up the liner in the back, you can see that it's all connected. This one long piece, like so. Okay, so you have some cup holders here. And a little place to put some stuff here as well. And this liner comes out as well, so you can just kind of grab it and pick it up. I guess it's a place to hide some stuff as well. The rear view mirror is a manual day and night mode on this particular one. Has a conversation mirror here, so you can keep an eye on everybody. Place to put your shades, and it has a felt lining basically all the way around here as well. But it's like that felt that's glued onto the plastic, so you get little tiny pieces little pieces of the felt that kind of get loose sometimes, I've noticed in other vehicles. Okay, so you have the tap lights, LED lights here and here. You can open up the power lift gate, you can open up the doors here, or you can turn them off. If you don't want the kids playing around with the doors, you can turn those off here. The visor has mirrors and lights. A little clip right there. It also has the HomeLink garage door opener controls on this side. It also extends out. Okay, so let's look at the visibility there in the back. I have one of the seats in the third row down just to give you an idea of the difference there. We're not always using our third row seats typically, so you can actually fold down the headrest or the whole seat to add to your visibility there. Same thing with the second row. You can actually fold the headrest individually if you want. But just in general, it has a lot of windows there, a lot of visibility, and of course it depends on your passengers too as well. But it does have the parking sensors, the backup camera, rear cross traffic alert, and the blind spot monitor system to help out with all that stuff. Okay, so there you have it. 2018 Chrysler Pacifica with the S Appearance Package. Let's go ahead and take a look at the window sticker here. So you notice at the top it says the Touring L, 2018 Pacifica Touring L. And then it starts off with your engine, color, transmission, standard equipment, interior features, exterior features. You can use the pause button and read all this stuff if you want. Then it goes in your optional equipment. This is where we find the S Appearance Package, the Premium Audio Group, and the spare tire, as well as the DVD system there. There's your fuel economy, your safety ratings. All right, there you have it. 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann Underwood, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off another awesome vehicle. And I'll see you guys next time.